This is a good one. Explain the NFT hate train for legal's audience. Because I get a lot of this. I have a lot of the other people, a lot of the other lawyers and commentators, reporters. They all will be like, yo, what's up with this NFT stuff? What's going on? This looks like a scam. You know, how would you guys explain this to like a lay person, a person who knows very little or just the basics about crypto?
Okay, let's see. So
that's a tall order, I know.
It's a tall order. So it's like I am a big proponent of NFTs. I do use it in my portfolio, but I'm a realist as well when it comes to it. So I'm just gonna say very honestly, okay. So the reason that the NFTs have been, because NFTs really got created back in like 2017, basically with like pet rocks, with literally these little rocks, as well as like crypto kitties, basically, which sounds really funny nowadays.
Beanie Babies and pet rocks. Got it.
Yeah, got it. Cool. So it's this whole thing where like they're calling an NFT is just a non-fungible token, which basically means it's a token that can represent anything else in the real world or in the digital world, and it can show that you own custody of it, basically. So because you own this certain token on this network, you can always prove that you do lay digital claim over that entity. Now, that's a very broad term, right? So what's going on? It's a sort of thing like, and when people say NFTs, what they really mean is like, oh, crypto pixel pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they mean.
They think crypto pictures. They don't understand that an NFT technologically is now expanding. The definition is expanded to mean cool stuff like, for example, gaming items. I covered Facebook and Meta, and I was throughout the entire thing. I was with a bunch of other lawyers, and I kept going, crypto. This is the reason why they're talking about this and sharing items across a platform. That's an NFT. Having the same, let's say you have a special helmet in a game, you know, like your World of Warcraft brought to you by Meta, you know, and you're able to use that in your Final Fantasy brought to you by Meta, right? You know, and you're able to use the same helmet. You know, it looks exactly the same. That would be an NFT, something you're able to use across ecosystems. It's an item, right? It's a piece of, but it's essentially just a line of code that you're able to share across ecosystems.
Right. So that would be the most useful type of NFT for this cycle. Next cycle, we're going to get NFTs where basically they're deeds or fractional deeds of real estate properties in the real world. That's happening in the next 5 years or less. I mean, that's going to be a really interesting sort of NFT side. That's going to be the digital real estate or real estate space where I could some kid anywhere in, like, let's just say somewhere in Boston could buy $1,000 or 2 tokens for $500 each of this real estate property, and then start generating an income every time rent's paid, which is really cool. But we're talking about this cycle. So basically, the reason that there's been a huge NFT boom is because last cycle, influencers or really famous artists or people, rappers, basically were like, all right, how do we make money in crypto? Let's make a coin. So they decided to make coins. So Lil Wayne can make Lil Wayne coin. And then he tells people like, you guys come and get in and stuff. And then he would make a lot of money basically. But the US government, and as well as governments around the world, like basically, hammered down on anyone who made their own cryptocurrency, because at the time, they were essentially saying, hey, you're essentially creating your own currency. Hey, you cannot have a printing press. That's our we're a mafia. We're like, that's our power, basically. So the artists now know this because people have gotten into big trouble over it. So this cycle, they're like, how can we make money in crypto? Can we sell digital art to our subscribers? Yes, legally. And then their lawyers are saying, yeah, you can actually. That's just artwork. Cool. So that's one of the reasons why, like, but it's become a huge it's a love-hate sort of thing, because you can make a lot of money, but it's a very it's the guys who like scalp trading or probably would really like the NFT side right now, because you jump in within the same day, you buy it within 1 to 3 days, you have to be out of that NFT, basically, is the strategy for NFT trading, because it's very very volatile. You pick something, if you have an eye for talent where you could tell like, oh, this is kind of cute, and the price is cheap. It'll like something like Pudgy Penguins back in the day. Pudgy Penguins, you could have bought a Pudgy Penguin for about 5% of an Ethereum, and it went up to as high as like 3 to 4 Ethereum for any single one of them. So you could have just got in. Wow, this is kind of cute. Boom! Within 3 days, it shot up to 3-4 Ethereum. Sell it. walk away with basically, you know, 100x on your money, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally get the hate and stuff because most NFTs are totally worthless.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
And I think the same principle, because Charlie said it earlier, and this is one of the things I just tried to point to why I trust Charlie and I trust you guys, because you guys are open to say the fact that the majority, I mean, Charlie said 80% of what you hear on crypto is bullshit, shilling, grifting. You guys are saying that, and 80% of NFTs are probably complete trash.
95.
But, no, okay, there you go. Even higher percent. 95% are trash. And you guys are saying this. You're saying this with a crypto course, and you're saying 95% are trash. You know, that to me is very credible, because that checks out. Because I mean, 95% of these, whatever price they're at, and yes, their price might go up as the market goes up, et cetera, but 95% of them are not going to survive, are not going to retain value, are not going to be worthwhile, you know, 2, 3, 4 years, maybe even the end of this year.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we have like an NFT expert come in who's like super dialed into the space. And so a lot of people, it definitely opens up their eyes when we have him come in the course. But like Miguel said, right, they're non-fungible tokens. They're not very liquid ways to be holding and storing your money. And so when you want to sell, it's very hard to sell. So me and Miguel personally, we have a few NFTs, but we don't really hold a lot of them. We don't really speculate too much with them. We'll leave that to the NFT guys. But there's this interesting group of people, right? They come in either through the NFT space or the coin space, and they're kind of like slowly kind of merging. But you do get these kind of subsections of crypto based on, like Miguel said, how different people tend to approach markets.
Yeah. And so one thing I want to bring up here, because I want to make sure that we're talking about the macro trend.